Hello everyone, no one of consequence here, back again with a new video. This time, I would like to talk about the announcement from WotC that they plan to bring back Adventure Module B2, Keep on the Borderlands, for inclusion with the new D&D starter set to be released in late 2025. First, here is the announcement. A new starter set for the revised rules. Whether you're new to the game or bringing friends into the fold, the Fall 2025 starter set is a beginner-friendly introduction to D&D. Based on the 10 years of play, we've revamped the new player experience to kick off your adventures with ease, regardless of your experience level. Heroes of the Borderlands, working title, makes it easy to start playing D&D in minutes with a quick start guide, intuitive, component-centric character creation, and a modular introductory adventure. It reimagines B2 Keep on the Borderlands, a classic introductory D&D adventure for use with the box set by splitting the adventure into 3 self-contained booklets: The Caves of Chaos, The Keep on the Borderlands, and The Wilderness. Each booklet includes a short tutorial to help new and returning players learn as they go. A how-to-play video will also accompany the release. Now, on its face, it's good to see that WotC is showing a renewed interest in old classic D&D material. However, there's just one small thing about this announcement that concerns me. It reimagines B2 Keep on the Borderlands. Now, these days, anytime I see the word reimagine, I become very, very leery about what is actually being planned. But before we get into that, let's briefly go over the history of this classic adventure module. Anyone who has been playing D&D since, say, last week is probably already aware of this adventure. However, not everyone may be fully aware of its extensive history with the game. The original B2 Keep on the Borderlands module was published by TSR from 1980 to 1983. First, it was included with the Holmes Basic set from late 1979 through 1980. Next, it was included with the Moldvay Basic set from 1981 through 82. The module continued to be used, next being included with the Menser Basic set in 1983. The module remained so popular that it was also sold as a separate product, wrapped with a cardboard backer for display in retail stores in 1983. Publication of the module finally ended in 1983. However, due to so many copies having been printed, originals are still relatively easy to obtain even today. Although the module itself went out of print, the adventure it contained next reappeared in the super module B1 through 9 In Search of Adventure, which was released in 1987. The module was next reprinted in its original format and included with the D&D Silver Anniversary box set released in 1999. Also in 1999, TSR released Return to the Keep on the Borderlands. Now, this is not the same adventure as the original module, but it takes place at the same location 20 years in the future. Next, Kenzerco released Little Keep on the Borderlands in 2002. This was a licensed product, greatly expanded from the original module, and adapted for the Hackmaster rule set. And finally, in 2018, Goodman Games released Into the Borderlands, a D&D 5th edition adaptation of the original adventure module. This adventure has remained popular throughout the decades since its original release. It consistently ranks very high in any poll taken for favorite classic D&D adventure modules. But no matter which version of the module you look at, the basic premise of the adventure remains the same. The background paragraph reads, "The realm of mankind is narrow and constricted. Always the forces of chaos press upon its borders, seeking to enslave its populace, rape its riches, and steal its treasures. If it were not for a stout few, many in the realm would indeed fall prey to the evil which surrounds them. Yet there are always certain exceptional and brave members of humanity, as well as similar individuals among its allies, dwarves, elves, and halflings, who rise above the common level and join battle to stave off the darkness which would otherwise overwhelm the land. Bold adventurers from the realm set off for the Borderlands to seek their fortune. It is these adventurers who, provided they survive the challenge, carry the battle to the enemy. Such adventurers meet the forces of chaos in a testing ground where only the fittest will return to relate the tale." Alright, so this is all very inspiring and heroic sounding. This is the sort of thing we signed up for in the first place, right? Now here is an overhead view of the Caves of Chaos, which is the focus of this adventure. Pointed out here are the entrances to several different cave complexes, each one inhabited by an evil humanoid tribe. The character's job is to systematically explore each one and clear out the tribe of monsters dwelling within. Very simple and straightforward, right? Well, not so fast, because back in 2020, WotC released this statement. Throughout the 50-year history of D&D, some of the peoples in the game, orcs and drow being two of the prime examples, have been characterized as monstrous and evil, using descriptions that are painfully reminiscent of how real-world ethnic groups have been and continue to be denigrated. That's just not right, and it's not something we believe in. Despite our conscious efforts to the contrary, we have allowed some of those old descriptions to reappear in the game. Alright, so the important takeaway from this paragraph is underlined here. Orcs and drow, being two of the prime examples, have been characterized as monstrous and evil. So moving on, WotC says, "Here's what we're doing to improve. We present orcs and drow in a new light in two of our most recent books. In those books, orcs and drow are just as morally and culturally complex as other peoples. We will continue that approach in future books, portraying all the peoples of D&D in relatable ways, and making it clear that they are free as humans to decide who they are and what they do." Now, the important takeaway from this paragraph is underlined here. In those books, orcs and drow are just as morally and culturally complex as other peoples. In other words, there are no longer any inherently evil species, which were formerly called races, in D&D. There can be evil individuals, certainly, but no entire species of any creature is inherently evil. Now back to the announcement about the new Keep of the Borderlands, I am aware of at least 2 D&D YouTubers who have released videos about it. There's Professor Dungeon Master and the Dungeon Delver. Here are the thumbnails for their videos, and you can easily search them out on YouTube if you haven't seen them yet and want to. However, the overall impression I get from watching their videos is that Professor DM is excited about the announcement, while the Dungeon Delver is limiting himself to cautious optimism. As for myself, I am outright dubious of what WotC has planned for this classic adventure module. You can probably guess why, but allow me to spell it out. The top section shown here is the intro text from the module, which I cited earlier. It's displayed side by side with the WotC announcement from 2020. So the original module says, "Always the forces of chaos press upon its borders. Many in the realm would indeed fall prey to the evil which surrounds them." And then in 2020, WotC says, orcs and drow are just as morally and culturally complex as other peoples, and they are as free as humans to decide who they are and what they do. The characters defeating evil tribes of humanoids is what the Keep on the Borderlands is all about. So obviously, there is a serious conflict between the original module's premise versus WotC's current attitude towards evil species. I have no idea how they plan to square that circle with this upcoming Keep on the Borderlands reimagining. No doubt, WotC's best minds are working on that conundrum even as we speak. However, in the Army, we were taught that if you're going to point out a problem, you should also be prepared to offer a solution. So that's what I'm going to do now. First, you might be aware of the 2022 D&D module Journeys to the Radiant Citadel. The full disclosure, I do not actually own this item. However, I have seen YouTube videos about it, and I've read articles like the one quoted here. D&D Radiant Citadel's first adventure is about fun, food, and family. Salted Legacy transports your party to, I'm not going to try to pronounce it, Night Market, a bustling location filled to the brim with vendors. 2 food stalls in particular are run by rival families. The gnomes of the Taino family and the kobold family of Zungun. The party watches this rivalry unfold firsthand as vandalism and thefts escalate the feud. Now here's the important part. According to Marie, it's up to the players to uncover the cause of all this contention. But this is detective work with a twist. The only way the players are able to uncover the mystery is by participating in market games to earn the trust and renown of the vendors, Marie says. These apparently range from a spicy pepper eating contest to a timed cooking contest where players battle giant prawns while trying to make prawn patties. So I propose that the same adventure concept be applied to the reimagined Keep on the Borderlands. Instead of the characters going to the Caves of Chaos to fight evil humanoids, they could go there to judge a night market food tasting contest taking place between the various humanoid tribes. It makes sense that this would be a night market event because those species do not like the sunlight. And whichever tribe the characters judge to have the best food item, they would gain some sort of prestige over the other tribes. Or something, I don't know. I don't know what they could do. Now here is some concept art I created to help illustrate what I'm talking about. Here, the characters are visiting a food stand which the Orc tribe has set up outside the cave entrance to their lair. Now it might be a little difficult to see, but those are tacos, which the Orcs have prepared for the food tasting contest. I chose tacos because WotC recently showed us that orcs are actually Mexican vaqueros. And, more recently, WotC also showed us that tacos are a popular food item in the D&D universe. So much so that adventurers are willing to burn up spell slots to obtain them. And here's a second piece of concept art I created showing the characters visiting a food stand set up by the Kobold tribe. Again, it may be difficult to tell, but those are skewered rats roasted on a spit, which the characters are being invited to sample. I chose that food item as an homage to an old Judges Guild module called Rat on a Stick. That module was published in 1982. It was created for the game Tunnels and Trolls, but can no doubt be adapted to D&D and the reimagined Keep on the Borderlands. I also decided to use kobolds instead of the goblins that are shown on that module cover, because kobolds were featured in the original food tasting adventure. But this contest isn't the only idea I have for the reimagined Keep on the Borderlands. Here's another paragraph taken from the original module. Tribal alliances and warfare. You might allow player characters to somehow become aware that there is a constant fighting going on between the goblins and hobgoblins on one side and the orcs, sometimes with no allies, on the other, with the kobolds hoping to be forgotten by all and the bugbears picking off any stragglers who happen by. With this knowledge, the characters, might be able to set tribes to fighting one another, and then the adventurers can take advantage of the weakened state of the feuding humanoids. The important part is here, where it suggests that the characters might be able to set the various monster tribes to fighting amongst themselves. Now, the suggestion of getting them to fight each other is admittedly outdated. However, we might still be able to glean some ideas from all this. Shown here is the chieftain of the Orc tribe, along with his wife, standing worriedly nearby. Although his tribe has won the food tasting contest, the chieftain is still uneasy. All he wants for his tribe is peace with both the other humanoid tribes and the nearby human settlement at the keep. This is because he oversees a lucrative cattle wrangling operation, providing fresh beef to the keep. Not only that, but he has several orc family units which he is responsible for. Here you can see orc mothers and children dwelling in a nearby chamber. Unfortunately, the Orc Chieftain is aware that certain individuals within his tribe are secretly plotting against him to foment war. The only problem is he doesn't know who exactly they are or what other tribes they might be collaborating with. In this scenario, it would be up to the characters to investigate, gather clues, and expose the conspirators before they can provoke an open war. Now, this adventure idea would borrow heavily from the plot for Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country. In that movie, peace negotiations were taking place which would allow the Klingon Empire to join the Federation. However, there were conspirators on all sides who wanted to prevent this from happening, and it was up to Kirk and the rest of the crew to expose them. I believe that the same plot applied to the reimagined Keep on the Borderlands would make for a great adventure. So anyway, what do you think? What ideas can you come up with which would allow WotC to reimagine this classic module for the modern audience? Post your suggestions in the comments. Alright, well that's all I have for now. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. If you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about the video and your own adventure ideas. If you can, share the video, and anything you can do to help support the channel, I appreciate it. Thanks again. Bye for now.
The greatest adventure